Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to Soul Shift Messages. If you're going through a transition, an awakening, or deep inner change at this time, you're in the right place. Take a deep breath and let these messages meet you where you are. As always, trust your discernment, take what resonates, and leave what doesn't for someone else. Before we go ahead and get started, if you're new here, please know I cuss. Once I start to channel and these messages start flowing and I just start going, I can't be 100% sure what's coming out. So part of this channel is me being honest, being real, being authentic, and part of that is just knowing I cuss. So if that doesn't work for you, that is totally fine. Feel free to leave and find another channeler who is in alignment with you. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into these messages. I'm not gonna lie, this is a heavier message. And I really want you to use your discernment. Some of you may be ready to hear this. Some of you may be feeling very sensitive about this, and this may not be the right time. So if you feel at any point you need to protect yourself, by all means, feel free to leave. There is no love lost here. This video will continue to be here if you decide to come back and visit it, and some of you may just completely skip it, and that is totally fine. Honor what you feel, honor what you feel ready to receive, and if you're not, that is okay. So I do get pen in hand. There's a lot of notes with this. I do have some general messages that do want to be communicated. Again, just due to the sensitive nature, I really get the feeling that there are specific things that I've written down that people need to hear. They need to receive at this time. I'll also be channeling as I go and seeing what else is coming through. So please know while I am doing this that I am sharing these messages for this audience's greatest and highest good and with a lot of love. So really this message is for people who have experienced endings. You know something is ending, or you feel that something is ending. Some of you may be wondering why this is happening at this time, and that is really what this message is going to be about. Now, I know just in that piece we talked about 3 different flavors. This is really where I'm going to trust you to know how this fits or doesn't fit into your story. So this isn't just a message about breakups. This could be about romantic love. For some of you it is, but this could be about friendships, work relationships. For some of you, this is roles you played in family dynamics. And some of you really feel like the universe, whatever higher power you believe in or don't. I'm not here to judge you. But some of you just feel like your whole world just had the reset button hit. Like everything just slowly but surely went, or is slowly but surely kind of going in waves. And for those of you who are going through that, my heart goes out to you. As someone who has been through that, it's heavy. It's heavy. But some of you are experiencing that because you are actually just completely doing an identity shift. And identity shifts really do bring about, in some cases, very drastic change. And so if you are in that boat, be patient. These things take time, and this is not the time to be judgmental toward yourself. Just continue to be kind with that. And really, what's coming through is not all endings occur because you did something wrong or something went wrong. You know, some of you could be blaming yourself for why these things are happening, and that's not really what's actually going on here. Um, for a lot of you, what is really coming up is you've outgrown certain things, certain dynamics, certain roles, certain identities, certain people. For some of you, certain jobs. There's a really big range for this. Give me a second. Some of you may be doing a lot of throat clearing at this time. I am hydrate, take care of yourself, do what you need to do. Some of us are definitely being prepared to speak our truth. Some of you need to speak your truth, and that may relate to this topic at hand. Give me 1 second while I swig this water. All right, let me zone back in. Um, some of you knew this was coming. Some of you can see this coming. This growth that you're going through has created distance. And part of what can be really challenging about that is some of you have a lot of love. Some of you had a lot of love for these people, these things, you know, these places. And you know, it's not that anyone did anything wrong. Some of you just changed, and the people around you, the situations around you just didn't grow with you. And you're really at a point where you're feeling that friction. You can see that distance. Some of you can actually feel these people just slowly but surely slipping away from you, if that hasn't already happened already. And it can be really uncomfortable while this is going on, you know? And I keep hearing no one did anything wrong. Some of you just can't relate anymore, and you can't lie to yourself that this still works, this still fits, this still belongs in your life. And so really, you know, this isn't failure. This isn't failure. I keep hearing, you know, for some of you, you really do, like, it may sound cliche, but for some of you, you're really just looking at some people and you're like, it's not you, it's me. Like, you know, you are the one who is changing. You know, you're the one who's shifting. You know, you know that you're maturing and other people aren't. So it's not failure on anyone's part. Not everyone is meant to go through the experience that you have been through, you're going through, or frankly, some of you know is coming. For some of you, you know this is overdue, and you just trying to process the fact that, you know, this is inevitable. Um, and so if you're feeling grief, and grief has many layers. So some of you may be angry. Some of you may be crying right now. Some of you may be really sad. Some of you may be exhausted. Um, you know, you may feel confused. You may just feel heavy. Some of you really feel the weight of these decisions that you've made or have to make. And so I'm really hearing, be gentle with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Really allow yourself to go through this process. There is no time limit on this. That's really what's coming through. All right, I think that's all there is for that, you know. Why they couldn't stay, or why these things couldn't stay. I'm hearing that some of you just Some of you really thought you could be happy settling. Um, and again, I say that with a lot of love, and it's not judging anyone, but some of you are realizing you really thought you could settle, that something would be good enough for you or someone would be good enough for you. And you just can't bring yourself to do that anymore. Like, and I'm hearing some of us have settled with these people in past lives. Um, and in this lifetime, like, you just can't do it. You're not willing to stay where some of us feel like we got stuck in past lives. You're meant to go beyond where you've been before. And some of us were really working toward aligning with who is really truly meant for us. And I'll get into that more later. But, some of these connections, some of these things were built upon who you were when you met them. They're not actually meant to go with you where you're going next. And they're showing me a rocket launch. So, and again, I mean this with a lot of love, and it's not a reflection of people. I'm trying to communicate what I'm seeing as part of this message. I'm hearing some of you are visual, seeing a visual or being walked through a visual is helpful for you. So when there is a rocket launch, right, there are certain things that need to stay on the ground to actually allow you, this rocket, to launch. So some things are not going to even get off the ground when you grow, when you shift, when you move up. Maybe some of you identify with ascension. However you view this process, view your process, I'm hearing that's not wrong, but some things, when rockets take off, some things never leave the ground. And then some things, as rockets keep going up and up and up, certain things fall off. I think it's boosters. Don't at some point boosters fall off the rocket, the shuttle, at when it reaches a certain point, and basically as the rocket keeps going, what it no longer needs releases and falls back to wherever it's supposed to land. And that's what some of these things are. They're not meant to go with you where you are going. They need to stay where they are. They have served their purpose. They have gone as far as they can go with you. And again, it's not to say that anyone is right, anyone is wrong. They want to make it very clear that some of these things just simply cannot go. There is a point of no return where you cannot go back to them and they cannot rise to meet you. And what we're really being asked is to not only honor how you feel, but also to really do the best you can to honor and accept that truth. A lot of these were, a lot of what is falling away right now, and I've talked about it in previous videos, is things that were built on unstable foundations. Even if it looked stable to you from your vantage point, some of you may be seeing that actually was not the case. Maybe some of you will get partway through this process and then be able to turn around and look and be like, I actually thought that was stable. I thought that was healthy, and it actually isn't. So honor where you're at, but that's definitely what's coming through. A lot of us were in dynamics where we overgave, we self-sacrificed. I talked about martyrdom, and some of you definitely do martyrdom, and that just can't be allowed. Some of us were really fixing, holding, constantly adjusting. Some of us were dimming ourselves. Some of us were shrinking, and we just cannot keep doing that. And I just keep hearing past the point of no return. We're not doing that anymore. It's not going to feel right, even if you wanted to hang on to those things. I'm hearing there is a part of you that will always know this does not fit And it's really just a matter of time until you accept this does not fit. For some of you, the longer you hold on to this, the more painful it will be because it does not belong in your next chapter. So I'm going to let that sink in. Um, your growth is highlighting what can't evolve, and it's going to be up to you or the universe. For some of you, if you won't do it, they will pull the plug on that. So heavy message, heavy message. A lot of you, what they want to emphasize is what you were carrying. Some of you consciously know this, some of you don't. Some of you may have an aha moment while you're listening to this message. Again, pause it if you need to, leave if you need to, but we gonna do this. A lot of you were carrying emotional and mental overload for these people. And again, this can be romantic people, this can be friendships, work relationships, family dynamics, a whole identity. Some of you are really just letting go of who you were, and it's really going to shake up everything. And that's not a bad thing. You know, again, this isn't punishment, this isn't failure. This is just, for some of you, this is you doing what you really wanted to do in this lifetime, even if it doesn't feel like it at this time. You know, um, a lot of you were carrying things that wasn't even yours. Some of you stabilize other people, you absorb their discomfort, and that's why you constantly adjust because you can feel that discomfort. You're holding that. You're holding their tension, their stress, their emotions, things of that sort, and that's not sustainable. Um, you know, you cannot heal things that are not yours. You just can't because it doesn't belong to you. That is not your lesson to learn. You need to give that back for those souls, for those people, for those places to carry their own things, carry their own weight. Some of you are really exhausted right now, and it's like, yeah, you're carrying not only the weight of your world, some of you are carrying the weight of multiple people's worlds. And as someone who has been there and dealt with that extreme burnout, for me, I was like, no wonder I'm so tired. Like, been stabilizing everybody I interact with. And again, it's not to shame those people. Some of you really know how to manage your own energy. You know your energetic boundaries. You are putting up those protective wards. You are sending this stuff back. You are calling your stuff back. But the reality is not everybody does. And it doesn't mean they're bad people. A lot of people don't realize they're even doing this, but for some of you, you do. And I'm hearing if you know that, it is your responsibility to put things in place that you need and also to be acting appropriately. If some of you are just tuning into this, that's okay. Your team is helping you with this, you know. So again, it's not to really point fingers or blame. This is really about correction, realigning the scales, and all that kind of stuff. Alignment, release, and alignment. The other thing they want me to talk about is some of you have been feeling very confused. I'm hearing for some of you, it's about everything. You're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm supposed to be going, all that kind of stuff. First things first, breathe, baby, breathe. You know, I know when I was the most confused in my journey, that was before I started learning about all the things I was holding that was not mine. And so for some of you, if you're feeling very confused right now and you still have these things in your energy, or you can feel them still trying to get into your energy, that actually may be part of it. It's hard for you to receive clarity when you have your energy full of things that are not yours. You cannot resolve them and all that kind of stuff. So for some of you, this confusion will stay in place as long as you are keeping those things in place that you know need to be let go of. And I'm not saying you gotta like yeet everything at once, like calm down. You know, you can do things, but I'm hearing start with what drains you the most. Start there. If you talk to somebody and you're in a good mood, when you show up and you're done, you're like, "Oh my gosh, I just want to lay on my couch and do nothing." Ding ding ding. Look at that. You know, if you're doing things because you feel like you have to, you got an obligation, you've always done it, you know, look at that stuff too, you know. And what also is coming through is there can be two truths at once that may seem contradictory. They may seem contradictory, but they both can be true. Some of you who have already been through this and already disconnected from these people, you may really miss those people. You may still have a lot of love for those people, and some of you may even still be very heartbroken about that. That can be true. And at the same time, some of you may feel like you really don't miss. You don't miss what it was. You don't miss that situation, right? You can love someone, go in with the best of intentions, and things just don't work out despite best efforts. And that could be on both sides. Not everything has to be one-sided. For some of you, it's not one-sided. For some of you, it was. You were giving a lot more than you received, but not for all of you. You know, you can still go in with the best of intentions and things just don't work out. And so, for example, some of you may have broken up with someone and you know you still love that person, but you also may start noticing that you actually start feeling more relief now that that person is not in your life anymore. And both of those can be true. And so if you are feeling contradicting things at this time, this is not the time to really be trying to overanalyze it and really be logical about it. It's really honoring what you're feeling. For some of you, you need to honor what you know is true, because some of you may really want to go back to this person, and if you do, that is okay. But some of you may go back just to realize like this is never going to work, and walk away for good. So just remember, you are learning, you are growing, and you know, at the end of the day, you can decide what stays and what goes. So also, if you're feeling really tired right now, some of you are really overextended. Like for some of you in some aspects of your life, you may have been making some of these shifts already. And you are releasing from that, but some of you still have some things that will need to be addressed. And that lingering is may also be draining you. So honor your pace, address things as you see fit. But also, if you really are exhausted, you're overextending yourself. So this may be a time to protect your peace, protect your energy, all that kind of stuff. So just big emphasis on honoring where you're at, what you're feeling, and what you feel called to do. Um, I touched upon this a little bit. The release isn't failure. It's not failure. It's really, for a lot of you, it's pressure being released. Whether you can see it, whether you can feel it, some of you can. But yeah, that confusion, that heaviness, all that kind of stuff. Once you make your exit, for a lot of you, it's giving your nervous system the opportunity to breathe again. And for some of you, your nervous system has been on high alert for some of you for years. So again, really be good to yourself, support your nervous system. I've talked about taking amino acids before. That's really important for your nervous system, obviously for all your body functions, but like particularly for your nervous system. And some of you really need to look into magnesium. Personally, I'm taking magnesium glycinate right now, but really be tending to that nervous system, tend to that body. Really do let your body lead at this time. Like if you're really exhausted, that is, for some of you, that's your nervous system exhaling. So really know that this isn't punishment. This is releasing, this is clearing, this is passing things out. Some of you may be exhausted because when you cut ties, again, all this stuff that you've been carrying for really only you know how long, can finally be released. Like you're letting it go. And so, some of you may be more exhausted than normal. And that's okay because not only are you releasing what's not yours, you can be releasing things that are yours and is outdated that these things kept in place. You could be reclaiming what is yours back from them. Like, how do I want to put this? Okay, thank you. So at the end of Beauty and the Beast, if you haven't seen Disney's Beauty and the Beast, shameless plug, that is my favorite Disney movie. So I know that movie very well. But at the end, well, I'd say spoiler alert, but that thing was made in the early 90s. So if you haven't seen it by now, I don't feel bad about this. So at the end of the movie, when Beast is being transformed back into a human, there's like orbs of light kind of circling him as he's up in the air and being rotated around. And so the reason why this is coming up, bear with me, I'm gonna connect this. The reason why that is coming up right now is because when you are releasing these things, again, whether it's relationships, jobs, identities, whatever it is, however that applies to you, it basically opens up. I don't know if I like the word portal or vortex or however you want to put it. It basically opens up your energy and allows for certain movement. So some things may be circling around you and it's going to come out. Like it's just going to fling out of your orbit. That's the stuff that's not yours. Things can be coming in and meanwhile you're just in the middle, circling with all these different energies around you. So if you're feeling that exhaustion, that's kind of the visual of what's going on with you that they're giving me. And so if you're really exhausted, enjoy some time on your couch, watch Beauty and the Beast. I've never found that to be time wasted, but that's essentially kind of what they're showing. These things may seem small. They may not feel small, but they may seem small in your life. But what they're really highlighting is like the actual magnitude of that one decision can actually literally shift your entire trajectory into a new direction. And some of you are absolutely being called to do that. So, Yeah, we talked about this. And really, again, it's not about failure. This is not about loss. This is really about alignment being corrected. You were out of alignment with these things, and this is the universe coming back in and really correcting that. I'm hearing it's time for some of you who are not doing the who feel like this was forced on you. I'm hearing it was or it is divine timing. So some of you will have the option to opt to do this, and I'm actually hearing for a lot of you you will. But for some of you, um, if you are not going to do it, that decision has been made. So um, I'm hearing do your best with that. So, all right. So just to keep this moving, because I don't want this to be too long. A lot of this is courage over comfort. We've heard that saying, there's no growth in the comfort zone. And it's often, I don't like to say that there's no comfort in the growth zone. I like to frame it more as, when you first start, it's often challenging to find comfort in the growth zone because when you're growing, you'll grow into it. So I don't know. I'm not big on absolutes. Some people are, not me. But basically, staying where you were, staying where you are, for some of you, it's familiar. There's comfortable. It's really comfortable there. But again, for some of you, you're being called to be brave and to really step into the unknown. Some of you just know you deserve better. Like some of you really do. And that's where the bravery is coming in. If some of you know, like, this just isn't what is meant for me, this isn't what I deserve, you know, um, and I've been there too. I remember telling my team, I said, I'm not a perfect person. I'll be the first to admit it each and every time. But I was like, you can't tell me that, this is actually what I deserve, and I actually willingly took a step back from a lot of things when I did that. And so some of you may just honestly be out here having that heart to heart. And some of you may not even talk to your team out loud. Some of you are just out here talking just out loud. And you know what, baby? The universe hears you. They hear you. So if you feel like you're talking out loud a lot about what you want, what you don't want, all that kind of stuff, that's being heard. That is being heard. So, for a lot of you, it's just the honest truth that's in front of you, and some of you just don't want to fight it anymore. And it's not going to be easy to allow for this alignment correction to happen. But some of you also know that you're never going to be happy or satisfied staying where you are. And so some of you really are taking that step toward. For some of you, I'm hearing freedom. For some of you, it's not that extreme, so take it how it resonates. But some of you are just like, you know what? I just got to try something new. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know how it's going to look, but I can't stay here. I can't stay here. So some of you are really just honoring that truth, and you're following it. And the other thing I'm getting is, and this is interesting, honoring your truth is most important. Some of you may be making unpopular decisions with other people. I don't know why I'm hearing this, but I'm hearing fuck them people. It's maybe that's like what some of you are thinking. People are trying to tell you to stay in things that really don't fit, that don't align with you, and you got to go. And some people are like, well, make it work. For some of you, I'm hearing do it for the kids, do it for the dog. Um, Listen, I love dogs, man. Do it for the pets. Some of you. don't have dogs, and that's okay. But for some of you, people may try to talk you off course. Um, I'm hearing you know what's true, you know what's right. Stand in it. Some people, mm, oh, we getting a little spicy. Some people, some people know they settled in life. They don't see anything wrong with it. Just because that's their truth and that's their decision that they're honoring doesn't mean that needs to be yours. Mm, all right. All right. Let's shift it because this is actually going to be a longer video than I expected. And thank you if you've made it this far. Um, so what opens up after you release? So again, we're back to Beauty and the Beast with this little, vortex portal-y thing. Um, Basically, once you stop holding what isn't yours and that stuff starts getting kicked back, you make room for what is yours to be returning. So for some of you, your creativity is going to come back. For some of you, I'm hearing your pleasure is coming back. Your joy is coming back. For some of you, your vitality is coming back. Some of these people may feel very parasitic to you. And again, it's not to judge them. You know, there's a lot of people who don't realize that they are draining. But again, if you know that and you know that to be true and that is your experience, it's still on you. It's not for you to change them. You need to understand that and act accordingly. I don't know why they're kind of making me keep poking at that, but I'm gonna trust that. This also makes room for emotional reciprocity, stability as well. Some of you may make some of these decisions and be like, obviously not everything rushes back at once. I assure you, that would be extremely overwhelming. Like, let that process happen. But you may find with time, you're like, I have never felt this good. I haven't felt this good in a long time. Honor that. Pay attention to that. That is also information, just as things that drain you is information. The things that fuel you, if you let people go and you give it a couple of weeks, a few weeks, you start feeling really good. If that person circles back, take a look at that. What are you willing to invest in? For some of you, what are you willing to sacrifice? Ask yourself if it's worth it. Um, and really, when we release things that aren't in alignment, we also make room for things that are in alignment with us. And that's really what a lot of this is about. A lot of us are changing, we are realigning, and that is bringing in and making it possible for some really beautiful things to actually meet us where we are, not where we were, not with who we were, with where we are. And so when people meet you where you are in alignment with you, you don't have to prove, you don't have to dim, you don't have to sacrifice, you don't have to constantly adjust. You're gonna be able to, again, be where you are, receive people as you are because they are in alignment with you. Some of you may find new relationships come in with ease and feel easier. Pay attention to that too. The right connections are not going to drain you. They will stabilize you. And the other thing I'm hearing is you don't have to be perfect to receive these. So I'm hearing don't put lids on your jars. Don't be like, when I stabilize, then these things can come in. No, people can meet you halfway, and they will. Again, the people who are coming in are going to be in alignment. They can grow with you. you know. And I already talked about this, but they really want me to again emphasize when these things are happening, you are integrating. You are doing a lot of integration. That's part of what that energy kind of going or whirling around you is really doing. That's part of the integration. You can honor what was real without forcing it to stay. Just because things don't work out the way you wanted them to or you hoped they would doesn't mean that there wasn't genuine love there. That at some point that, you know, things were not always, detrimental to you. You can have authentic love there. You know, you can still love these people. I have people I've had to let go of, and I wish them no ill will, absolutely no ill will. And I know they didn't do anything wrong. It really was me who changed. And so I still send those people blessings. And maybe some of you don't feel like you can do that with some people, and that's okay. You know, you can honor how you feel with that. If you really feel like someone wronged you, that's okay. You can honor where you're at, and I was angry with certain things up front. And I just got to a point where I'm not angry anymore. I understand it. I see the bigger picture, and I've really made peace with that. So some of you may get there. Don't worry if you're not there yet. And again, it's really about honoring yourself, honoring what's going on, and letting yourself go through that process. And kind of tied to that, some people really are only meant to be with you for certain chapters. Some people may only be with you for certain seasons. Some of you may have to release people you really thought were destinations at some point. And so, yeah, just be really patient with yourself and allow yourself to work through that. You know, let that grief, let that release flow through you. I don't care how long it's been. When you're going through these integrations, you may have certain things come up that you really thought had healed. And again, I'm hearing try not to read into that too much. For some of you, it's just residue coming up, especially if you are breaking out of roles that are tied to family dynamics. For some of us, we have pretty much held those roles for nearly our entire lives. I'm hearing that shit runs deep. So, some of you may know why some of those things are coming up, and some of you, if you identify with it, that could be like your inner child feeling safe enough to really let some of that stuff go. Some of us really had to carry too much from a young age, and that needs to be recognized, whether you want it to or not. Your body's going to process that, whether your mind consciously processes it or you do that subconsciously in your sleep. So again, try to yeah, this really is the time to be gentle with yourself. I've probably said that too many times already, but that's really coming through. And some of you just need to take your time while you get to a point where you accept some of these changes. Some of us are here to continuously change and grow, and some of us are not. And sometimes that can be challenging to reconcile. So, all right. Oh my gosh. We're like 45 minutes in. All right. What's left? How do we want to close this up? You're not losing anything. You're aligning, you're realigning. What is coming in to replace these things is better. What you're letting go of was meant to go. Anything else? Yeah, a lot of this we already talked about. Your life is really rearranging to match who you are and who you are becoming. And you're really making room for truth, authenticity, reciprocity, um, equal give and take, if you will. Um, it's really, they're saying trust your process. Really trust your process, trust the timing. This is not the time to be forcing things, not forcing things to stay and not forcing new things to come in, you know. Because again, some of you really need time to just process this stuff and really just let it naturally move through. And know if you're having a hard time with this, that you're really loved and supported at this time, not just by me, but the gravity of some of this for some of you can feel really intense. The right people, the right things are just gonna start showing up when they do, and they will naturally fit. Even if it doesn't feel like it now, things are going to get better. Things will feel easier for you. But there is big purge energy right now. And some of these things just genuinely can't keep going. So I am going to close this up just because that was a lot. Um, so thank you if you made it to the end. Um, yeah, just remember you're not lost, you know, you're not behind, you're shifting, you're transitioning, you're realigning, you know. And it's a process that takes time. So be patient and be kind to yourself while you move through this. Honor your pace. And if this resonates, as usual, stay tuned. I'll be posting more. And you take care, beautiful souls. Until next time, bye.